Hello, my name is David Palmer. I'm a professional astrologer and house DJ, and I made this video about my journey on December 21st, 2012. No, this video isn't about predicting up to December 21st. It's an actual reality/docu about my journey, my experience. I interview some really awesome people, and I also interview people that were around me. So I hope this video gives you a different perspective about what happened on December 21st, 2012, and an interesting spiritual look deep on the inside of this day. As I'm talking to you here in January 2013, the sun's bright, the lake looks great, just like it did in January 2012. But what's happening deep on the inside of our souls right now is very profound. We're moving into a new age. And this video talks a lot about different views of this age, different ways to access your reality, and it's a really cool adventure into what my perspective was like during December 21st, 2012. My original intention was to go to Sedona in Arizona, but it didn't work out that way. I had to follow my gut. I had to go with where the universe brought me, and it brought me to Los Angeles to interview these great people and to give you my perspective. Now at the end of this video, you'll get my own perspective all about astrology, December 21st, 2012, and what I feel is coming up here in the future. So I hope you enjoy this video and join me on my journey into December 21st, 2012. December 21st, 2012, the day the Mayan calendar ended, but it also began again. Now, I've been studying the Mayans since I was young. When I first found out about the Mayan calendar on AOL.com, I was blown away. I had always been into astrology. I'd always been into the cycles of time. But the Mayan calendar was the whipped cream on top. I became hungry for knowledge, hungry for what was this day all about. And I turned up so much information. All my astrological information just fell into my soul and the understandings of cycle of time. And really, that's what the Mayans stood for, were the cycles of time in our universe. Now, the astrology on December 21st was profound. Humanity and our universe stepping into a new state of mind. A new understanding of our truth, exposing the truth. But most importantly, it's time for us to break free of an old paradigm, of old rules, and really step into a new conscious, collective, new beginning. It's not going to come easy though. It's going to take a little bit of work, and it's going to take a lot of ascension, a lot of coming into knowledge, coming into truth. A lot of people thought that we were going to come into this 5D, fifth dimensional world right away. The truth is, we are on our way there, and there are multiple dimensions out there. But there is work we must do individually, collectively. We are just at the very beginning of this ascension period. Now, we are going to step into more information and more light. I've studied all the Palladian channels. I've studied all the esoteric knowledge I can. I spend all the time in esoteric knowledge, especially about this photon belt. A lot of light coming into our solar system, and all light is information. And this information is leading us into a better humanity, a better individual soul that knows how to connect with the universe that surrounds it, and most importantly, connect with Prime Creator, which created this whole universe. So I journeyed up to Los Angeles, California. I actually grew up in Orange County, California. Lived in LA for the last 3 years, but this was the last place I wanted to be on the shift. I really wanted to be in nature, out with the universe, out where I could see the stars and not all the pollution. But the universe brought me back to my home. It was so interesting, and there was a reason for it. There was a reason for me to come back to my home and to find grounding and to open up and realize that it doesn't matter where we are on this planet or what is happening or what pollution there is or what trash is on the street. That we as human beings and as souls need to connect to our universe no matter where we are, connect with those that we love. So I set up my interviews and took my car and made it to Los Angeles. It's only about 45 minutes north of Orange County, but it brought me on a great journey to talk to great friends, to talk to the astrologer I love the most, and most importantly, bring you this video. What's up? I'm on my way to Christopher Witecki's house, and to start this documentary, I'm going to Calabasas, California, to the astrologer that really got me on my astrology path. A lot of my friends are here, all like-minded individuals. We are going to experience the shift, and we are going to do it with no boundaries. I'm going here because there is no limit to the talk, to the experience, and I want to go to a place that's always felt like family to me when it comes to my astrology, when it comes to my spirituality. So I like I like to be around those kind of people, especially when it's something as big as December 21st. I'm really excited to bring you an interview that I'm going to do with Christopher, and also just some scenes and some footage of what I get during the shift and see how it really goes. And that's the whole purpose of this documentary. To interview like-minded individuals, to interview people, and to experience the shift and give it to you in this mini documentary. So I really hope you enjoy it, and I look forward to bringing you my interview with Chris. Christopher Witecki, owner of SoulGarden.me and an amazing astrologer, the astrologer that inspired me the most. I found him on the internet in 2008 on YouTube when nobody was doing blue screens and nobody was doing astrology horoscopes with awesome television quality. He definitely is a leader in the first of his kind. He's created Soul Garden, a network full of thousands and thousands of people that all watch all the shows, live entertainment, all about astrology and spirituality, and connect everybody together. So it was my pleasure to interview Chris and get a lot of his deep astrological insight about December 21st, 2012, and get him uncut. When we were done with this interview, he told me that nobody has gotten him this uncut, so it's my pleasure to bring you this interview with Christopher Witecki. Well, I'm sitting here with Christopher Witecki, the astrologer that taught me astrology, believe it or not. And the reason why I picked Chris is because not only is he my brother, but he is such a genius astrologer. I mean, this guy's changing astrology. But the big thing is I want to get his introspective on the shift. So Chris, you know, first of all, thank you for being here with me today.
Thanks, man. You know what's really awesome is that, like, David, he was studying astrology on his own, for the record. But then when we got together, we both went like quantum, and I'm actually honored that you have got to the point where you're interviewing me for astrology.
Oh, well actually, and you're also the owner of Soul Garden,
yeah.
So tell everybody about that.
Soul Garden is a community of light. We're creating a community and school of light. So basically, you can come together and you can be with people that will love you and help you grow spiritually. It's just a group of human beings around the world. But we do a lot of programming. David is one of our stars, literally, who teaches people astrology. We have people who teach us psychic ability. We have people who teach history. It's really just about growing into your power, and we just want to be the capital of that.
Well, what is your feeling about the shift? I have to say there is a lot of lost at sea stuff, and everybody thought they were going to die. What's your first feeling about it?
My first feeling is it's a lot lighter than I think we all thought, right? And that's the whole point. It's a lot lighter than we thought. You know, the idea that people are hoping for a catastrophe is completely contrary to what is happening. What's happening is the Earth is lightening up, not getting heavier with more heavy stuff. Now the truth is when you lighten up like an air balloon and you start to move up, like the first thing that has to go is the heavy stuff where you can't go. So I think that what is authentic is like everyone got a lot of sick stomach, people aren't sleeping, people are just not comfortable in their own skin, and that is the ascension, actually. And that's the bad of the ascension. I mean, we were taping this after, and so officially the Earth lived, there was no major earthquakes, no one walked into a school with a gun. Like, the actual ascension was God universe letting everyone chill out on the Earth at the same time for 7 minutes.
Now, you're an astrologer, so I'd love to get what your astrological view of this shift is.
It was really cool. I looked at it. First of all, we had a yod, which is God giving you the finger. So a yod is always a huge, like, when there's a yod, it's just such a sacred geometry in space, an isosceles triangle. And so that sacred geometry means that the universe is very serious about something. So the universe is very serious about Jupiter, which was the expansion of our mind. It looks like, you know, in essence, as we come to the end of a 26,000-year cycle and we come to the beginning of a new 26,000-year cycle, the planets say that our intuition is about to be raised with Neptune going to 0, 1 degrees. So we're about to become more psychic. We haven't become more psychic as a planet since the 1860s. So we're going to be more psychic. We haven't gotten more psychic since the 1860s. Neptune has to go back to its home sign to juice up before it goes on a tour back around to the other. So that's what happens. When you get back home, you juice up with your good stuff, and that means the whole planet ascends. So Neptune says we're getting more psychic. Pluto says it's the death of the system that was built with democracy. So believe it or not, democracy is officially dead, and we are going to invent a new system other than democracy, believe it or not. It's not communism, so stop it. Right? So Pluto says we're done with democracy. And we're done with this system of basically business-led democracy. That's the truth. We did not look at business when we developed the Constitution. We didn't, you know, free business was so new, no one thought it would go amok. Well, it's gone amok, folks, and it's causing wars now. Businesses are.
Right.
Because it's good business to be in war. And so, as humans, we need to, what Pluto said on that night was, that's it, but believe it or not, businesses are going to be killed. And you know what's great about Pluto is you have no effing choice. I don't care what you believe in.
Right.
You know, like, us astrologers will be toasting champagne because we know no one F's with Pluto. Right? Like, nobody F's with Pluto. Or Scorpio, if you want the translation, right? So you Scorpios out there like, hell yeah! So like, so Pluto was saying that. And Saturn was saying, also, major decision, that we must make a major decision to draw new emotional boundaries with ourself. In other words, saying, on this eve, like, that's it, I've had enough of men that use me, or women that use me, or this, or that, or this. I'm emotionally fed up. Which is how you stir the pot of humanity, is the emotions, you know, or the Republican Party's way, you know, like, if you want to understand Republican and Democrat, like, Republicans use emotion, Democrats use mind. They actually both need to use each other's techniques, and that would actually fix everything, but for some reason we keep them separated, I don't know why. So, Saturn is saying new emotional Republican boundaries of what will be okay or not for ourselves, which of course turns into the universe over time, right? So, then what's really cool is, Jupiter is moving backwards at this moment, so Jupiter is saying we need to reconsider the way we think. All right? The way we think. And remind you, you know, the devil on earth is the mind, period. It is the mind. The mind is the only thing that can pretend it's not God or pretend it's separate from God. So it's a very dangerous weapon that pharmaceuticals have hijacked. Okay? And so we need to point the mind towards what it needs to be. So Jupiter is working heavily on our thoughts. This started last summer. And now it's retrograding, meaning that we're reconsidering things that we thought we were so smart about just 6 months ago. So just 6 months ago, you were high on a horse about something. And now you're like, I don't know if that's such a good idea, says Jupiter retrograde, right? Like, And so that was where the Yah was pointing. So God was saying all this other heavenly stuff, like, basically what God's sentence was, is like, I want you, young children of the earth, right, to, first of all, make new emotional boundary decisions and say what you're sick of. You need to realize that the old democracy based on rich people getting richer is dead. So you can play in that pool if you want, but I'm officially discontinuing it, you know. And the interesting thing is, Mercury, which is our thoughts, was at 5 degrees purebred. So it's like, just stay clear in your thoughts, just keep your mind clear. Venus, it may not have been at 5 degrees, but it's reporting to 5.
Right.
Venus what was Venus at, 11, I think, or...
Oh, for the shift?
Yeah, for the shift.
Oh, it's getting right. It's right about 9 now, which is actually opposing Jupiter. It was at
no, it was at 6.
It was at 6 and 7 right there. Yeah.
Actually, Venus was at 6, purebred. Yeah, actually, that was what was so weird. Venus was purebred 6, and Mercury was purebred 5. That was what was it. But I think Mercury was a high level 5, like a 23 degree. But but still, I had to look at my slide. But they were directly opposing. Like, so Jupiter was here, the Yod, and then they're directly opposing Jupiter on either side. And so it's like, in this whole change your mind and reconsider something, all these things, keep in perfect balance your thoughts and your giving and receiving, which was like, hallelujah. I mean, that was like God saying, I need a hallelujah, you know. And then what was most compelling too is like Black Lilith, which came into our conscious this year due to one of my masters on my team, Mimi Clark, and she just, gave me Lilith awareness. And once I started watching this freaking asteroid, I was like, oh my God, this asteroid is a big part of the issue of where humans are stirring so deep. And once I saw that Lilith was conjunct Jupiter
in Gemini.
In Gemini at this time, and that Lilith has been part of it. Lilith was there at the lunar eclipse in November, and Lilith scooped across Jupiter and then was ahead of Jupiter. So what this all was saying was like the mind changing, the reconsideration of what we're reconsidering at this galactic shift. We're reconsidering actually our mind's response to old past life emotional rage. That's actually what God was asking us to do, was to reconsider our thought patterns based on having always danced around our past life rage. And mine personally came up. I mean, I literally am going to meet someone that was killed in front of my eyes soon. From a past life. That's how my awareness popped open. Wow. Like full crazy, affirmed everywhere. Like for me, for the client to shift is like, oh my God, I know who my past life wife was, all my kids, and who they are today. Wow. And I know it, I know it. And I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, now what do I do with that, you know? So I think, to answer your question, a very long answer, but I think you have to include the whole synergy.
Yeah, you do.
For astrology, it was very clearly like, the old world is dead. The old gray goose is dead. You know, like that old, what was that old song? It was like, da-na-na. Remember that nursery rhyme where it's like, na-na-na-na-na, ring around. I can't remember. There was a nursery rhyme where the old gray goose is dead, or what was that?
Oh, I think I remember.
The old gray goose is dead. It's just like, which is like a lyric in our English conscious, like the old gray goose. Ring around the posy was like people dying around bubonic plague and ringing around the posy. Like that is kind of like
it's kind of a horror movie, scary.
It is horror movie, but that's well, it's children making light of horror. So that's what it is. The kids were singing this, making light of everyone dying during the bubonic plague, which was actually in our darkest hour astrologically. So it's clearly the end of an old era with this shift astrologically, and clearly a new era. And if I were to define what the new era is, what God you said on that day was, move forward, my child, without any of your past life rage in front of you. Clear of your past life rage. Create now a new foundation in your life. A new foundation that that turns its back on the dark side of capitalism and the current system of control. A new foundation that makes your emotional sensitivities assumed, not compromised. And one where your past life pain is behind you, and now the rage is inspiration for the future. Like turning that past life lemon into lemonade, or that poison into medicine, which, you know, poison and medicine are always the same substance. It's a matter of dosage. It's only a dosage that changes a substance from poison or medicine. Everything is poison, everything is medicine. I've got some poison that keeps me from being too wrinkled. It's medicine now, but it will, you know, but Botox will kill you, right? So that's not bad if we respect the truth of life and death as a complete circle. And so I really think that when it comes to our rage, what we have been so hurt by in our past, all of us, is now our inspiration to change the world. So I don't want anyone to go through what I went through in my past life. I don't want anyone to go through what I went through in my life. You see, if we as humans collectively unite our collective understanding of everything that hurts, and we just teach each other and say, let's just get past this stupid shit, right? Because come on, you know, and I think that's the awakening I'm seeing. It's like, you know, if we just grow up and cry about it and get it out and face that we're gay, or face that, let's just face it. If we all do it in the whole world at the same time, we all look like hot messes at the same time. It's okay. We can make a holiday. We should make a holiday of like, oh God, I'm gonna cry day. Like this is the day where you bitch, and we could even say in culture, save it for bitch day.
Well, we get that on full moons. I guess.
That's true.
We do. Well, I have to ask you, and a lot of people during this shift were predicting people flying off this planet to other dimensions as if this huge moment would happen, and then the other half, of course, were people thinking that the world would end. I actually want to focus more on the opposite end. A lot of people out there, I feel, are misled, and we are dealing with psychic awareness now. We are listening to different entities out there, but then there's something called astrology that's mixed into all this, which actually brings reality to the metaphysical world. I'd love to get your insight about how and why you think people are being lost right now at this time period with this beautiful energy, and how you use astrology as a map as your guide. It's a lot like a captain of a ship who doesn't get lost at sea. That's the way I look at astrology. Astrology is 100% accurate as far as what God's lesson plan is, period. Period. And you can sit there and say, no, fine, I don't care. You're walking in the dark. It's like, and science is so funny because science, you know, really misunderstands us. I have to say, you know, to Bill Nye and a lot of people out there, you honestly have been very rude and disrespectful. I went and studied physics in college. I know how physics works. I got straight A's. You have not studied in my school, sir. And so until you do, please refrain from your opinions. The truth of the matter is that there is some amazing truth out there, and it's time we stop pointing fingers. It's time we unite the truths and start to see where the commonalities are, because we all have a standard commonality. Now, I think the truth of the matter is that Neptune and Pisces, that's it, dude.
Neptune in Pisces was back here in 1860s. Now when Neptune goes in Pisces, Neptune has gone home. Neptune is the rock or crystal or vibration that pisses off the sun in a certain way. That's what the planets do. They each piss off the sun in a certain way. Then the sun gets all pissed off and sends us crazy solar flares, and our iPhones go down. Okay? AT&T goes down anyways. So put that out. AT&T always goes down. Sorry, AT&T, you should take better care of me. So that said, Neptune is in Pisces, which means that actually Neptune would be sending, or like, when Neptune is in Pisces, the sun is like very relaxed. That's the truth. For some reason, when Neptune is against the 100 billion stars, when the 100 billion stars combine with Neptune, or 100 billion stars focus through the prism of Neptune's vibration into the sun actually chills out. And so the sun is about to get stoned for 14 years.
Yeah, that's
Truth.
a good point.
And so, seriously, the sun's about to get stoned for 14 years. The sun's going to be all like, So like, because the sun's getting, now when's the last time the sun got stoned? The 1860s?
Yeah, or 1848 was when it came in, gold rush.
Correct. You're right. It's not in the 1860s. I'm thinking the end of the trend.
You the end.
I don't even know. You may know better because I'm not great with dates. I gotta look stuff up always. That's not my genius. But yeah, but I do figure it out. But when it went through there, the California Gold Rush. Now the California Gold Rush is to me the biggest Neptune and Pisces thing. Was just like, you mean we can just get gold for free?
Everybody will get rich.
Everyone's going,
yeah.
You know, it's like, it's the lottery. Neptune and Pisces is the lottery. It is, and what that is that you're getting access to God consciousness in pure form. Neptune is the modem. Pisces is God, or at least the closest thing to God. Pisces are not the closest thing to God. Just be frank, but like that consciousness is the highest. It's the purple ultraviolet of the spectrum of Roy G. Biv. So purple is the highest to God. Red is the lowest. See, I'm an asshole here. So basically, like, that's the spectrum of it. But that said, when Neptune goes into Pisces, it's an ultraviolet. It's as high as you can get in this reality to God, as high as the ceiling is right now. And so as a result, the whole planet is showered with this Neptune stuff. Now, here's the thing. Everyone feels like there's no limits. Everyone feels like this just isn't going to end. Everyone feels like there's a party going on. It's Neptune and Pisces, which means that people are going to believe that there's a spaceship coming and you should put all your quarters in your pocket and swallow some pills. That means that people are going to believe in Soul Garden out of crazy and be like, wow, Soul Garden's a cult. They're all crazy believers. People are going to start dressing up and being Star Wars for full time. Right. When Neptune energy comes in Pisces, you just believe and it just is. Now this is the same energy that made the slaves believe they could have freedom, which led to the Civil War. This is the same magic that made people risk the Indians, although we should have been loving them, but like risk the Indians and go west for gold. That Neptune gave you that inspiration that like there's something better out there. So Neptune and Pisces, to me, is like why you're seeing these zealots, because you're gonna basically wherever the kids are, I call them sprouts. Wherever the sprouts are. So if you're a sprout that was born as an Aborigine and Neptune comes into Pisces, you're going to be like, oh my God, there's something beyond the tribe. If you're like born in a small town as a crazy, like closed-minded Christian, praise the Lord, well then you might like suddenly go become a Mormon. A Mormon, right? Like, so everyone's going to like, you know, go crazy and go higher. That's the ascension. And it does, you know, and so we shouldn't judge each other, like, as long as you don't hurt anybody. You know, like this motherfucker that went in, and I'm going to cuss, I'm sorry.
Yeah, hey, I do
that
on
went
my
in
channel,
and shot children. I mean, you know, when the devil starts shooting children, that's because we're not awake enough. That's not because we need more law enforcement. It's because you aren't looking people in the eye enough and saying, you know, I don't know if I like your vibe, man, because I live in a country where I want everyone to be happy, and you're a little freaky. Yeah. Everyone's afraid. Like, everyone knew these people were freaky. Well, why the fuck didn't you say anything about that? Oh, I didn't know I had the right. Why not? Look what happens when you don't. Look what happens when you don't look into a stranger's eyes and go, "Are you okay?"
Well, you bring up an interesting point, and I hate to cut you off.
No, do, because you have to.
The Salem witch trials.
Oh my God! Okay.
Came at this period too.
Really?
There was a lot. Yeah, I've done a lot of research.
What do you mean?
If you go back,
what transit are you referring to?
If you're going back to Neptune and Pisces, the time before all that.
The Neptune and Pisces before that?
Before the gold rush.
Oh my God!
You go back to Salem.
Well, then if that's
trials,
the case, then Neptune and Pisces is the reason we even got our asses on a ship and crossed the ocean. I see. I don't have time to do all the research in history. That's amazing.
Yeah. So you bring up an interesting point where that's where actually people did that, but they also went too lost in that, I guess. So it's a fine line, right?
Well, here's the thing. Let me just cut to all the quick. listen to your motherfucking heart.
Yeah.
No, honestly. Here's how this would have worked. And this is what Soul Garden is. We are a religion, and we say, we believe that you should worship your own heart. Okay? Not a priest, not anyone, not Soul Garden. Your heart. So when they're going to burn a woman in town on a stake, you should ask your heart, should we do this?
Yeah. Right.
Your heart's going to say no.
Yeah.
Guaranteed your heart's going to say no. Okay? Because that's God. God would not want a woman burned on a stake.
Yeah.
Okay? So what burns the stake? The mind. Well, their mind starts thinking, well, she did float when she swam. I mean, and she did seem to come up with something out of nowhere. So the mind rationalizes. But if you would just ask the heart, you won't end up with a roll of quarters in your pocket dead in a South American country. Because your heart be like, I don't like this idea. Yeah. So it's like, okay, if you don't like it, you shouldn't do it. It's so simple. God gave everyone a modem that goes straight to God. Yeah. It's your freaking heart. If you light up, that's a yes. If you don't light up, that's a no. It's that simple. Our mind wants to complicate it. And you know what is complicated? You know what? Like for instance, like when a relationship is expired, do you still love her? Yes. Do you want other women? Yes. Yeah. It didn't lie. It did not lie. Our mind can't deal with the fact, because the rules of society can't deal with the fact, because we're worried more about the society than we are this guy, right? Yeah. And so we sit there and we go, well, I guess I'll cheat. Why? You know what? The truth is that if your heart loves her and wants someone else, so does hers. Because the heart is auto-coordinated by God. So if your heart wants it, that means it's going to work out for everybody, because God Universe has done that equation better than Google, better than Facebook, better than Microsoft. God Universe is always going to do that love-love based equation. All you have to do is listen to your own heart, and everything will work out according to God Universe. You don't even have to believe in God. You can be an atheist, Adderall-eating scientist out in some crazy planetarium somewhere that thinks I'm a nutcase, and I'm saying to you, brother, if you just listen to what you love, it'll all work out, even for you. So that's the equation. And I think at the end of the day, that's what keeps people from falling down the wrong path. So, you know, you're right. People go way too crazy, because Neptune in Pisces means the sky's the limit. That's a great way to sum it up. The sky's the limit. Like, people just getting this, the sky's the limit. So if you're starting out as an emotional terrorist, the sky's the limit in terrorism. So we're going to see and I've said this before, God Universe is supporting everyone equally, including the jerks. Yeah. You know, Hitler got to about 8 million people before humans could stop him, right? Humans. God didn't. Humans. So we have to be, I think, more aware of each other. I think we need to look each other in the eye a lot more. I don't think you even need to say something half the time, because human beings are telepathic and they don't even know it. They don't need to know it. You look them right in the eye and just be like, really, sir? And see, if that person gets 5 of those in a day, that person thinks differently. And so it takes a village, right? I'll shut up.
Well, you bring up so many great points, especially there is a lot of this Neptune and Pisces energy right now. But you've done a lot of work with astrology that's really impressed me. I mean, you've got this thing, so I want to ask you about the degrees. But at the same time, about this other dimensions. You brought up to me about your research on other dimensions, your own view of dimensions. So I really want to answer this question. A lot of people think we went to this 5D, and I'd like your view of that, and then I'd like your view about your degrees in the astrology as well.
Okay, thanks. Well, there's this 5D, the 5th dimension. The truth of the matter is the 5th dimension is actually the tunnel that leads to all dimensions. That's it. So everyone's excited about the 5th, but you know, the 5th is only the door. And that's great. I mean, I'm not being negative. We should be excited about the 5th. But you guys, you have to understand as you come out of your sleep that you should never assume you've discovered it, because there is no it. You know, like, it's infinitely moving. So if you found the 5th, great. Where's the 6th? Don't even stop at the 5th, you know, like, and that's where I keep saying, if you're like, oh, we did it, like, no, we didn't. Why do you know we didn't do it? Because everyone's still unhappy, and as long as everyone's still unhappy, we didn't do it, right? So with the degrees, this is honestly, and actually, this is, you get this bonus interview, like, I've actually never honest, my guides have told me to come completely off this, but when I was about, I don't know. There was a few years ago, my psychic channel opened up 100%. I started to download some new astrological information. Not new, actually. It's old and was forgotten. So it's not new. It's all in front of our face. But the truth is that numerology and astrology are one, as is everything in the universe. So all religions are correct, and all religions are meant to go together. We need the Quran and Christ and this and that and the Tao and the Buddhist and all. You all think you have number one? You're one piece of the one.
Yeah, they all equal one.
Right, and they're all puzzle pieces. Like, you know, it will be, you know, the Catholics that tell you that, oh, sorry, there's no 40 virgins in heaven. There's just not. You know, it's just like, and, you know, and the Quran will tell the Catholics, and, you know, Mother Mary did not have a baby without getting laid. You know, like, sorry, that's just the fact. You know, like, so all the religions need to kind of come out and be honest with each other and unite in that kind of global conscious, and that's where we're going. But the degrees came in through me as like I channeled them, and the universe started giving me formulas on how things work. And the truth of the matter is, it's very, very, very simple math. And I'm going to be, from now on, I'm full out with all my astrological secrets at that point, because I need to work them out before I told the world, hey, I think this is fact. That's just my Taurus nature. Yeah. So I worked it out for about 7 years. So with the degrees, the truth is that Linda Goodman gets credit for cracking the code of numbers to planets. Linda Goodman gets the credit. She's a genius astrologer that died way too young and is working with astrologers like me on the other side right now. And actually, now that she comes to my consciousness, I should ask her. I should ask her meditation to hang out. I've never asked Linda Goodman to hang out. I never think to ask dead people to show up. But she cracked the numbers, and it's really simple. 0 is Pluto, 1 is the Sun, 2 is the Moon, 3 is Jupiter, 4 is Uranus, 5 is Mercury, 6 is Venus, 7 is Neptune, 8 is Saturn, 9 is Mars, 10 is Earth, Taurus, and 11 is Chiron, Virgo. That is the sacred geometry of the planets. They represent 12 states of awareness. So God is a broadcaster of reality. God broadcasts reality. Guess where the film projector is? The sun. The sun is a film projector that God is putting out reality. So God sends reality down to us and rains sunshine on the planet, which is basically God. It's not just, you know, science has just scratched the surface. It's neurons, it's neutrinos, it's, you know, we're still figuring out what the fuck's coming out of the sun, okay? Like, we have no idea. We finally got a telescope that can look at it close enough, and we're learning all kinds of stuff. We're clueless about God, or our God service provider, which is the sun. The Egyptians were pretty smart. That's exactly God. They know that if that left, everything was over, right? So the degrees tell us precisely how the sun will react. Basically, every planet has a 360-degree orbit around the sun. And the reason why what is above is below is because right now you can spin around and you have 360 degrees of your reality right now, right? You have 360 degrees of your reality. So in this 360 degrees of your reality, each degree is technically a channel from God. God universe is sending an awareness, conscious, you know, moment to every of the 360 degrees. Each of 360 degrees needs to be populated with consciousness to create reality in full human definition resolution, right? So the degrees basically tell us precisely where energy is going to show up, how it's going to show up, what energy is coming to show up. And so what I haven't revealed yet is that you technically have channels 0 through 12. So in my new horoscopes, I'm reporting on how much energy is in each channel, which translates to how much energy you're getting per chakra, okay? Which translates to how much light. So white light divides in a prism into Roy G. Biv, which is the spectrum of from purple to red, right? Or red to purple.
Aries to Pisces, yeah.
That Roy G. Biv is also do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Same scale. Colors, states of awareness, 12 signs, 12 apostles, 12 months, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. It's actually 6 that has 2 polarities. It's actually 6 states of awareness that have oppositions, right? And this is the circular of consciousness. So what I downloaded and I've proven it works precisely is the degrees. The degrees will tell you precisely where God is sending energy now. I call it the Tower of Truth. So one moment in time has a degree signature of vibration, and you can actually calculate with the planets, because the planets have been circling around the sun the same way for billions of years, right? So it's an atomic clock. Astrologers look at astrology as an atomic clock. It is perfect. It has not changed. The precession of the Earth has changed, but that's our view through the windshield because the car is getting shaken. It's not anything has changed in the solar system. So when scientists are like, precession means it's wrong. Shut up, you know. Precession means that we're being jiggled in the car. Like, if we went in space, there would be no precession, and it would be the same science it came up with when it started 26,000 years ago. So it is an absolute atomic clock. The degrees tell us exactly what o'clock it is. In fact, in my new horoscopes, they come up with this new thing because each degree is not only the vibration, but the step you should take at that moment. Each degree tells us, okay, at this moment, pay attention to your defenses. Then pay attention to this. So each degree is actually a script for how God is going to play the piano. And you can dance on your own, but that's always harder. You go fucking dance to a reggae song and, you know, be in a belly dancer outfit. I mean, go try it. Anytime you like try to like dance to a different tune, sure, go ahead. I mean, it's a free will country. It's free will. But when you do, it sucks. It's hard. It's so much better to groove with people. It's so much better to groove with the universe. So the astrology is telling us exactly what rhythm is playing. Yeah. And the degree tells me the exact precise note. It is precise. So I guess I could say that my work has, I believe, finally found the precision and proof necessary to prove astrology. And really with what I'm doing next is, I didn't set out to prove astrology, but we will prove it.
Well, that's my last question to you is, where's your work taking you now, especially now that we're at the shift of this new age? Where is it leading to help humanity more, and where is it leading to for your own goals, your own dreams, your own things that you want to make happen?
I'm so excited, David, because when I was a little kid, I just dreamed about entertaining people, and I just love showing off, and I love teaching, and I love playing. My favorite thing is to laugh with people and to have fun with people. So my mission is to make Earth fun and a story. So people say, you want to control the world? No, I want to liberate it and give everyone a whistle and a fun toy, and and you know what? That's the problem, folks. This is the Garden of Eden. We came to have fun. End of story. The people that tell you have to work by the clock, they're liars. They're lazy. They don't want to work, so they're making you work. And you know that's the truth, and it doesn't have to be that way. So I'm setting out to, for one, and first and foremost, I just want to educate the world. It's like, I want people to know, hey, you should know how it really is. Like, I know what the Illuminati knows. In fact, anyone in the Illuminati that wants to contact me right now and square off, I'll do it. You know, it's being held over you. It's stupid. God gave us these truths about the universe. And if you want to ignore them, that's just fine. But watch the magic I'm about to pull off. Just watch me. And I am cocky about it. We need to be arrogant about our spirituality. We need to be arrogant about our spirituality. So, and be like, yes, I believe in love. I believe in happiness. And I'm a freaking prick about that. You know, and I'm going to be a prick about that. I think we should be pricks when people are not happy. That's where it's inside out. And guess what? Hey, you pricks out there, why don't you go be pricks for the good? You still get to be a prick. You know what I mean? Like, that's how God reorganizes stuff. So my point is, Soul Garden is setting out to educate the world, first and foremost. We're interested in educating the children. We're interested in building the best schools in the world to help people manifest. And so really our biggest strategy is to, first of all, give you a shot of joy. Our promise is come to our house, we'll cheer you up. Okay? Come to our house and we'll cheer you up. Again, we'll remind you why it's worth living. And you need that help because there's nothing optimistic anywhere in mass media. There's nothing anywhere saying, you know what, it's going to be okay. Seriously. All right? We have no agenda but to liberate your life. We have to make a living doing that, and we're very upfront and visible about that. Like, hey, this costs this much because we need to eat too, and you know, so there is a business agenda, but you know what? The business agenda is to get more people in the business. That's what we do. And to get more people self-empowered and more people teaching what they know. Because you know what? You can find a housewife who no one has ever listened to and who thinks is nobody because she married a dummy and now she doesn't want fair. You know what? That housewife probably knows better than anyone about certain things of a baby or about apple salad. I mean, we discredit people wrongly. So Soul Garden is very interested in uniting the light and creating a grid of human consciousness that serves the one. We are a grid of delight, and that's what God is, a grid of delight. A grid of delight that's going to unite the light using technology, using report cards, discovering people's talent, and then going, you know, you need to meet David and you need to meet this. And so I guess what we are is a spiritual matchmaker for people to grow.
Wow, well you have made me grow in my own life, especially as an astrologer, as a best friend. And I really appreciate all that you've done, and especially what Soul Garden's done. I've loved doing it for the last 3 years, and you know, it's an honor for me to on my documentary about the shift and you know, talk to you. And I'm excited to see your new horoscopes. I got to see a little glimpse of them just now, and you know, I've been following the horoscopes for 4 years, so.
I know, I've been doing it for 7 years, man. You know, I gotta say to you guys, we need to take ourselves less seriously, and we need to be serious about joy. We need to be serious about joy. And that's really the last point I'll make, you know. And Santos, what's his name?
Santos Bonacci.
I want to give him like my heartfelt, because I think he's going to see this, and like he's doing brilliant work. Yeah. David introduced me to your work, sir. It's amazing. And it just underscores for me that like we are ready now to accept our truths as a world. And with you, buddy, it's like David watched my show. He like was like, I want to meet you. He hunted me down. He studied. He showed up in a truck with a beautiful girlfriend and took me out for dinner that night, and like just, you know, and we've been best friends. Like, I mean, everyone, there's no such thing as a best friend. It's always like one of those things like, but it feels best when you're with someone. Everyone should feel like your best friend when you're with them. That is enlightenment. Like, he's my best friend. Oh, now that I'm with her, you're my best friend. It's like Dorothy and you, Toto, and you know, like that's really what it is. And but I just want to say, you guys, seriously, if you were interested in people, follow David's lead. Because he like reached out and he like connected, and then like he grew, and like now I'm like watching him, and it's so exciting, and that's the potential. So
yeah, I guess that's where the new world is going. You know, speak up. You know, say your truth. Do what you need to do, and follow your gut, of course. And your heart is always going to give you the right answer. Well, thank you so much, Chris. I really appreciate it.
Happy shift.
So, what's up with the shift, Carolyn? How do you feel tonight?
I can't. I have like so much energy. It's insane. I shouldn't have any energy. The world's not gonna end.
Well, it is December 21st. We're still here right now.
Yeah, we still are. So I mean, that's good.
We knew this, right? Did you know this?
Completely. Yeah. What did I put on my Facebook? I wish I could remember. But yeah, it's like magic time. This is like all of the New Year's Eves and all the it's kind of like all the New Year's Eves rolled into one. It's kind of how it feels. It's like Christmas and New Year's and all the happy things is what it feels like.
Yeah, it kind of feels like every Columbus Day.
Yeah.
Put into one.
It's exactly like a Columbus Day. It's just another Columbus Day, folks. No big deal.
I've always celebrated Columbus Day.
Did you really? How do you celebrate Columbus Day?
Because it's an excuse not to do anything.
Do you celebrate by claiming like? Do you claim new land? Like, what do you do as a Leo?
What do? I just kick it at home.
Because I think you got to claim land. You know, we're royal. We need.
Well, what do you think we're claiming with this shift? Because I'm actually taking this a little seriously here.
I take it is serious. It is serious. What are we claiming with the shift? We're claiming ourselves back. I think we're claiming our own power. I think we're claiming, you know, how we log in. We're claiming who we are. You know.
Ooh, I like that, Carolyn.
I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot that we're claiming right now. You know, we're claiming truth.
Well, what are you claiming?
What I'm claiming, love, baby. Like I claim love as a Leo.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I know you've had a lot of love around you.
Right now, a lot. Yeah, I shifted before the shift, big time.
Ah.
So, and you know, like the sun's on my Lilith as we speak. So,
oh wow.
Yeah, big time. So 29 degrees Sag. So I'm loving this. Like this is a fantastic day for me. Yeah.
Do you have any plans for this new age?
Just keep going. You know, like keep being more me, and you know.
More you, more you. I guess that's all we really have to do, huh?
That's all we gotta do. Just be you.
It's pretty simple.
Don't hide anymore. There's no reason to. Whatever it is that you are, don't hide.
Well, just so you can tell the audience, why don't you tell us about yourself real quick? I've always known you as Twyla Blue. Where did that come from?
I know, that came from my friendships. I fell out of myself. And I found some friends who just loved me and allowed me to be me and encouraged me to be me and held amazing healing space. And during that, I got this new nickname from the whole deal. I had somebody who saw my soul, totally saw my soul, and gave me the name Twyla so I could reclaim myself, I guess, and like rebuild myself based on that. Now that I look back, that's kind of what I did. And so that was Twyla. And I had a full name. I didn't have just Twyla. We played a lot of games. We played a lot of Uno, and we just got goofy and weird. And
you always picked up blue cards?
Well, kind of. Like as the cards would come around, and we'd like claim the color. You know, you throw the Uno card, and you get to call the color of the next card, right? So, yeah, somebody called blue, and we'd always go Blair. So it kind of became Twyla Blair. So there's a whole spelling with the name. It's not just the name, but there's a spelling with the name. And I have a last name, Twyla Blair, which kind of fits me, being a full moon baby. I know, it's kind of crazy now, like knowing who I am. Like, I had all these little hints from the universe helping me build who I was and remember.
Maybe coming into this new age, we need to go by our real names, not the ones that were given to us by a birth certificate and our parents.
Well, yeah, and you know, I think that we give our parents our names a lot of times. You know, we inspire the name that they call us, but I think now we can call ourselves. And I think that's what it is, we're calling ourselves.
So would you say you call yourself Twyla Blue?
I call myself many things. I don't limit myself. I'm not a girl of labels.
So
not even for a name.
What are you gonna, no name, huh? But
no labels, no labels. Oh, I'll take a name every now and then. Because hey you just makes everybody come and answer, and sometimes, you know. He calls you, oh girl, you've been here before. But this time your bitch is waiting at the door. She tells him she don't buy his alibi. She's tired of the stupid lie. Sadly he can't satisfy. Girl, you know that you're picture perfect. Show him now that you know you're worth it. Cut him up from the light tonight and make it right. Let your crazy fight girl out tonight. Stand your ground, make him wish he never thought that he could find someone better. But there's no one who shines as bright. Go make it right. Let your crazy fight girl out tonight.
You feel like 2012.
The Annie is being up, darling.
2012, 311. It actually means a switch in life for everybody
Yes,
else.
absolutely. I don't believe it's the end, but it's the end as
It's
we
a big
know
change
it.
for everybody.
This is
It's
what's
the
going to
end
happen.
as we know it.
People are going to start going, oh, I never realized. That's what's happening.
Yes,
We're all going to start to realize.
yes. And with that comes amazing awareness.
Isn't that?
Non-filter, by the way.
do you think we're all getting a little bit of that for December 21st?
We're all going to
Yeah.
get a little bit of that, depending on what side you're on. So if you're over here and all you're seeing is problems and focusing on the problem and oh my God, and the debt's so big and
You know-
the job's so stressful and the spouse is such an asshole and the kids are so stressful
I
and
think we have
burdensome,
new options.
then you're going to be getting more
I-
of that.
you know what I
Because I
feel?
believe whatever we are shifting in with, our energy, whatever we're shifting in with, and that
Listen, Kara, we're getting new options. It doesn't matter what you thought yesterday. There's a new option today,
let me
and that's
tell
the
you-
awareness.
Let
Is
me tell you what the
understanding there's new
options are. I just feel like 2013
it's being amplified.
is going to be a time where cancer is going to be curable. People are going to be...
Solutions will be amplified,
gonna
as
be
well
a big
as
switch.
problems will be amplified. So whatever you're focusing on, whatever your predominant thought is coming into this, is what will amplify. So your energy, you as a powerful creator of your own reality, will make the choice of what direction your life will go.
What's up, Marcella?
Not a mucho. Hello.
Hi,
So I want to know
Marcella.
what you feel like for the shift.
I feel great. I feel the same. 3 months ago.
It's good. I like your honesty. It's good for my documentary. So you feel the same.
Oh, there's my drink. Where'd my
I
drink
do.
You didn't feel anything different?
Well, I felt through the week. I felt different. I feel like time is all in one space. I'm having trouble differentiating what happened yesterday and what happened last week.
Oh, I like that.
I agree.
What do you see the future holds?
Well, it looks like it's a whole new world. I think it's all going to be in their hearts. I'm excited.
Well, right now I'm on my way to my buddy Jakub's house and his brother Joe. They got an awesome house here in Southern California. They do a lot. Jakub's got his own YouTube channel. He's a musician. It's called My Momentum Media. Check it out. The links will be below. And then Joe, he owns the Pyramid Center. I'll put the link below. And both of them are doing quite a lot in the scene of, you know, esoteric knowledge, occult knowledge, finding out the unknown, finding out the truth. These guys are true seekers. So I'm honored to go hang out with these guys and show you what this party is like. It's a December 21st party, just a gathering of people to get together and talk about it. And I love Jakub so much, and Joe, but Jakub and I used to do a YouTube video together. We did the lunar eclipse video. He also did my introduction to astrology video. If you look on my page, it's like my first video on the page. I haven't seen him since the solar eclipse. That was in May. So it's gonna be a lot of fun for me to go check it out, hang out with them, and you know, see what comes out of this. So I really like these guys because again, they're seekers of truth, and it's my pleasure to bring you to see whatever happens tonight. Actually, and it's December 21st, 8:01 p.m. I'm in Southern California doing my thing. I'll see you guys soon. So this is kind of interesting. My GPS can't get up to his house, so he's got to come down and get me on a Suzuki, like cool 4-wheel drive, so I can get here. So I'm like sitting sideways on this hill waiting for my boy Jakub. But that's kind of like the way the universe is going, you know? We think we know where we're going, but sometimes we just gotta go with the flow. And you know what? GPSs aren't even right. So I guess my point here is just learn to go with the flow, keep it gangster. So I rolled up gangster style up to Jakub Dolezal's house. He's an excellent host, and I love coming to this house because when you come here, his family's great, his girlfriend's great, his friends are great, but most importantly, it's all about speaking. It's all about messages. It's all about getting deep into people's minds and having intelligent conversation. So it was an excellent place for me to go on December 21st, 2012.
But again, that's the human experience. You always have doubt up until the very last second.
That's what's teaching you to grow.
Who knows why they're alive? Nobody.
But
who can answer that? Nobody.
But of course somebody can answer that. Why do you think some people, you could build kingdoms? Why do you think these people that build kingdoms could like manipulate all these people to living a certain way? That stuff gets so like understanding the feminine, masculine, the positive, the negative. Like my brother pointed out a great thing too. It's like when you think about how the Catholic Church and the English crown are so tied in together and how deep that stuff gets. Like when you realize that the king in England or whatever, the queen, they wear a crown, the crown which represents the masculine, the hand that kills, the hand that enforces law. When you realize that what the Pope wears on his head is an actual tiara, that's not a crown or anything, that's a tiara, that's the feminine. That's the spiritual side, the femininity. And that when you realize like what Hitler was trying to push, Hitler couldn't do shit without the Catholic, without the Pope saying, go do it. There was a different reality being built around Hitler. It went a different direction than it should have. But Hitler couldn't have done shit without what the Pope saying, go ahead and do it. He asked everything, going into Italy, where he was going, he was asking the Pope what to do. And when you realize like that spirituality, like what the Pope, what possibly that Catholic Church, the Vatican, can have underneath those grounds, the knowledge is amazing. Those millennia of knowledge. I do not believe Alexandria burnt down and nobody got anything from it. I don't believe that when you had all those people running through the Mayans, that they burned all the books and the writings. I don't believe that shit. No intellectual would ever do that. Maybe they did like demonstrations in front of people. You people are stupid. Listen to us. Look, we burn your books and we don't die from your gods. But the real important stuff, they took home. Those treasures, they took home. Because any logical person knows the value. People aren't dumb, and they weren't dumb back then.
I'm sitting here with Jakub Dolezal. This guy is the man. My Momentum Media on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Well, I met Jacob actually crazy. You know, I am an astrologer and I do believe in synchronicities, but him and I have the exact same rising sign. So this guy's on my same life path. And the reason why I'm interviewing Jacob is because he's just a master of truth.
I guess you could call it that.
And the reason why I wanted to interview him is, number one, of course, we're here sitting here December 21st, 2012 at his party. So I want to ask him a couple questions about that. But I'm so intrigued by Jacob because you just go deep into the truth, reality. You're like the reality checker.
Yeah, I guess I'd like to call it perspective, you know. There's a couple things I really value in life, and that's like ethics, logic, and perspective. And all of them really like tie in together nicely like this beautiful trinity. And I like to always take a step back and just kind of understand everything that's going on. Not so much the good, the bad, you know, the positive, negative, kind of just where's it all coming from? Because everything comes into that full circle. I mean, you know, we're coming into, today is supposed to be the end and then the new starting of a cycle from the Mayans, you know, or the ending of the Baktun or whatever they called it, their cycle.
So what is your true perception on this outside of just this cycle? I mean, do you see a future for humanity? Do you see a future for this reality? What is it that you take out of this?
I mean, the whole thing is, it depends how deep and how long of a conversation you want to have. When you talk about reality, reality is this complex thing, but yet it's so simple. Yeah, you know, the whole reality, and that word, it's so important, but it all has to do with actually tuning in and becoming coherent to yourself within this world. And I think the whole realization that we've been so far away from actual spirituality and understanding of oneself that we've totally lost perspective of everything else. And you know, everybody, they kind of sense it, so they were hoping that like the Mayans were going to have some sort of solution and that this date was going to become some sort of defining moment. But again, it shows how much unaware and how much in tune we are with everything, because in this world nothing happens black or white. It's always gray. It's always sections of gray, and you know, it could come up right behind you and then surprise you, or it's never just like, oh bam, here we go, we're all going to just float into the sky. You know, it's not like that. It never has been.
Well, I want to ask you, because let's be honest here, there's so much of this floaty-toady want to be floating into space area, and I want to get, because you are a man of truth, and why do you think so many people were so misled into this crazy like fantasy world that we seem to be living in? I mean, people thought it was the end of the world, and then on the other half, which I'm a spiritual person, so I definitely believe this is a spiritual change, but there also comes that reality check. And why do you think so many people were, there's a lot of people lost, I feel, in this whole perspective?
Again, a lot of that stuff starts with that basic understanding of oneself and being so lost and nothing in this world making sense, because we're so not tied into it here. You know, we're always trying to escape, you know, whether it's TV, video games, or the end of the world. We're always trying to escape, and we haven't been like living in the moment. Hence why time is like just accelerating at the speed. It's because it's like nobody wants to be here. We want to be over there. We want to be there. So it's like you can't even slow the breath down. You can't even slow time down to be able to just live this moment. And so it's like nothing comes together. It's just this chaos. And you know, part of the way the universe works is out of chaos comes order. So maybe we need it. Maybe we need all this stuff to happen.
Well, you're a man of a lot of work. You're a musician, you're your own producer, you're even a host. I mean, you and I have done great videos together. I mean, where's your work taking you now? With especially, we're at this new point in juncture.
You know, where my work takes me, I'm not going to say where my work takes me, because at this moment my work doesn't take me in a direction. It's more where I'm taking myself. You know, I went from music, stepped from that into like alternative thought and understanding. And now a lot of it's going to be more bringing the world to me. I think where I was right now in my life, I was bringing myself everything I need to be me. And I understand myself very well. I understand my ego and my consciousness and how everything works. And now it's time to bring the world to me so I can work within it to make everything just blossom beautifully. Because, you know, I don't I can't tell anybody advice or how things should work or shouldn't work, but what I can tell you is I'm deeply opposed from this whole 9 to 5 thinking, this like depressive slave mentality that's just there, and you don't get to enjoy anything about life. I mean, you know, I do work hard. There'll be days I wake up at 8:30, take my shower and just go till 4:45 till 7 at night, non-stop, you know, and I really just eat one meal and I just go all the way through. But even after I'm done with that, I have to go use my physical energy, and I go, you know, work is mental for me, and then I go out and I go play beach volleyball like 6 days a week just to get my energy out of me, you know, just to clear my head, just so I kind of neutralize myself. Because the thing is, it's so unhealthy to just be one way, be so mental or so spiritual and not have any physical activity, you know. We're here in this world, and you have to let all of that stuff just equilibrate. So it takes that balance of everything. And you know, everybody's got different extremes. So for me, I gotta work hard, so I gotta play hard. And literally I can play beach volleyball sometimes for 5-6 hours straight. You know, just a little sip of water and keep going, so.
Well, I think you bring up an interesting perspective, because actually if we just take a look at your and my relationship, our astrology charts are flipped. You're an Aquarius, I'm a Leo, and your sun is in the 6th house, mine's in the 12th, which are the opposites. I come from way spiritual, I probably need to get more physical, and then you come from this very physical sense. So that was the main purpose why I wanted to interview you, is because actually you inspired me with this YouTube channel. I mean, we've done lots of great work together, and you bring such a raw truth to your work, and not even your work, to yourself, like you brought up. And I think you brought up a great point that people really need to step into themselves, that they really need to know themselves. But I think your points also come with that reality check so great. And, you know, is there anything that you want to add as far as how people can tune more into that? I mean, beach volleyball is great, but when it comes to this place of knowledge, you know, there is this battle between the metaphysical and the physical, and really trying the balance of both. And is there anything else that you can tell people out there, especially how to tune more into both and find that equilibrium outside of just even physical things?
You know, a lot of what you're asking me is just about basically living. It's just about living life and fully living it. And I can't say I'm the best example of that, so I can't give people opinions about that stuff. I can say that there's more to life than money, there's more to life than work, and there's more to life than sex, and there's more to life than play. But the thing about it is, it's like, it's opening up your ears and your eyes and your taste and all these senses to actually listen to yourself, to know what you need. And it's not about being irresponsible and just going to play ball or run around or go get high and all that stuff, because all of that stuff, you know, you don't really need it. And the things you do need, the things that are going to make you healthy and make you grow, those are the things that your body knows. It's kind of like when you get in touch with yourself and in tune with yourself, whether it's through breathing exercises, whether it's just self-reflection, all of that stuff is so important. And when you start opening up those doors, it starts opening up the world around you, because everybody sees things completely differently. You know, you can be blind, you can be deaf, and you're going to see different colors, you're going to hear different sounds. You know, and you could be both. You could be blind and deaf and still learn to communicate. There's ways they can teach that. And you have this whole different painting of this world. So I can't go out there and tell you this is a good way to learn or this is a good way to be, because it's not. We all have different purposes, different messages, and in a certain way we're not all equal. But we aren't here to be equal. We're here to experience what we need to experience and be what we need to be. And all of that stuff's within you. And if you don't know what it is, it's because you've been ignoring yourself or afraid of yourself or not dealing with certain things. There's a lot of things that this society teaches you to be afraid of, or just judge even yourself, so you never fully experience, you never fully grow and evolve. And that's dangerous. So I think the basics before you get into anything deep is just understanding yourself and accepting yourself for what you are, what it is. Not everybody's going to be beautiful. Not everybody's going to be ugly. Not everybody's going to be smart. But that stuff's okay, because you all fit into a different puzzle piece of the world. And all of that stuff just, it has its place, you know. And with that, it's about yourself figuring it out and getting there. So I can't tell you what to do.
Well, you know, what's always intrigued me about you is because you are a searcher of truth. And, you know, I bring up conspiracy theories because that's been a subject that you know a lot of different things about. And what do you think it is that intrigues you so much about these theories? Is it because, like you just said, about how, you know what, there is this reality we're in where there is so many things that aren't exposed, you know, that it's almost like we are being repressed? And I think a lot of what 2012 is about moving into an area where we can actually individually become to know ourselves, but I still feel there is a force out there that is suppressing us, that isn't exposing the truth. And you've been somebody that's always inspired me because you're so well versed in all these different subjects. I mean, what is it that's always intrigued you? Different conspiracy theories and so forth.
Well, you know, that the theory, I think it's the word theory. One important thing I learned in college, to me, was that nothing is fact, it's all theory. The minute it comes out of your mouth and is written, it is theory. Nothing is fact, nothing is absolute. And by learning that and then getting into all these alternative thoughts and alternative ways of looking at things, which are conspiracy theories because it's looking out of the norm, whether you look at 9/11 or whatever else it is, you know, whether you want to say, oh, it's not just my soul, it's my chakras and everything else that's aligning me. A lot of that, you know, again, is theory. Because again, chakras and all that, great explanation of what's going on, but nobody knows that's what it is for sure. It's not an absolute, it's just an interesting theory. 9/11, again, it's a beautiful perspective of looking at what could have happened, and that brings me to one of my key words. It's like perspective, you know, and you got to look at, well, why did this happen? Why did this happen? You're never going to know. Was it really this or was it really this? Even if you had foolproof evidence like that it wasn't terrorist, or you had foolproof that it was terrorist, you're never going to believe it. You're never going to know because that shadow of doubt is already there. So, and that stuff's not important. What gets important and why I am always looking into this stuff is because it helps me open up the doors so it goes, okay, this makes sense. It's not that he's good. It's not that he's evil. This is that motivation that pushes this individual this way. What takes a person, the energy and the will to go in a certain direction, and then by what they do alters everybody else's reality, everybody else's world, all of a sudden has to jolt and shift in a different way because of all this. And that's why that stuff's so interesting to me, because I believe I'm onto something really interesting about life and the world and myself and my soul. But you know, it's not something that's just going to come to me in a half a year. This is one of those old men conversations that one day it's just going to click to me and go, aha, this is it. This is what it's all about. And then everything will just be warm to me, you know?
Yeah.
And that day will come when it comes. It's not something you can force. It's things you learn. And just this world always rushes you in certain directions and in certain perspectives. Again, it takes you back to that thing you never get to fully live. Because you're just stuffed and overfed with these thoughts and these emotions. You never get to be you. You never get to be you. And if you get glimpses of yourself, you're made to feel that sorry, tongue-tied. You get this feeling that you're supposed to feel guilty for what you did, or bad, or, you know, oh, I'm so good because I gave to these people, I worked at a charity. When again, the way you delivered and the intent behind that was actually ego-driven. So, you know, it wasn't pure to yourself. So, you know, and that's who you're responsible to yourself, is yourself. Not to everybody else. Because at the end of the day, the only person that's going to take care of you and keep yourself warm is you. And then once you have that, then you can build your family. And then that family is that important. And it develops everything else. Which again, it gets into that whole important thing. The thing that just started this question was that theory, that conspiracy theory. It's that alternative thought that makes you realize, like, wow, you know, it's not just this one way. Life's not just about dates. And history just isn't about dates and good and bad guys, and we're the good guys that survived everything. It's about that perspective and that motive that made history, life, and the world go that certain direction.
Well, you've done a lot on your YouTube channel. I mean, you've interviewed people like Jordan Maxwell, and your brother too. He's an amazing man as well. What is it that intrigues you about your channel and about the people that you reach out to interview and do segments on?
You know, the people that I reached out to, I found them very interesting, and I just wanted to show their perspective. You know, it's not for me to judge. It's not having an argument there or anything. So I wanted to show perspective. You know, my whole channel is about just giving like an alternative thought onto something. Again, not something that's foolproof, not something that's fact. It's just about like this like other look, this other perspective, you know, something made this person focus on this point in their life, and it made all of that flourish. Because not everybody can study everything, you know? Not everybody can be a garbage man, but we need a garbage man. Right. As much as people laugh at that, that's a whatever, it's like you need those people. It's what keeps society clean. Just as much as you need a doctor, it's what keeps it healthy. All of that stuff merges, and nothing should be looked down upon. So I just try to bring into all those things, because I mean, my channel goes from my music video to me being in Sedona experiencing something. It's just about, you know, again, living, concentrating on myself, you know, and managing myself. That's what it's about, and that's what I kind of try to show people. And I'm going to be on an interesting little path in this coming year, you know, from like after the 1st, I'm going to go visit Sedona again, and I'm going to bring some of my friends. Hopefully you'll come. Exactly. Yeah. Hopefully you're going to come and just experience and everything. And it's not about that whole fairy tale mumbo jumbo. I'm going to go sit there, meditate, and you know, I'm going to see the world in this whole different way, and I'm going to be a genius after. Because it's not about that. Nothing ever comes to anybody like that. And they can pretend, but it's just because they were so high on something they thought they figured it out. But in actuality, it kind of goes into you as you're picking up on all the signals that you're being given. And you know, and I just think having a nice core group of friends that you take there, everybody's got a different perspective, you share, you communicate, and you just let something flourish.
Well, I've loved all my experiences with you, man. It's been quite a journey with you. And how do people get a hold of you?
A hold of me, that's hard, because I like to spend a lot of time with myself. But I mean, you can always, you know, catch little glimpses and updates on my YouTube channel, which is My Momentum Media. That's all one word. And other than that, you can always write me through there. I do have a Facebook, Jakub Dolezal, but there's a couple Jakub Dolezal, so you may or may not find me. But otherwise, you know, just check out my channel. Go through David, you can write him, and hopefully we'll bring you some more stuff that'll make you want to experience some things too. Because, you know, me is for me. It teaches me. But you're never going to learn the little things that I learn by just watching me. A lot of that stuff is for you to experience. You know, just like the child. It's like it's got to burn its finger on the fire for it to understand that fire burns. It's the only way. As much as you describe it, it'll never get that full experience. So hopefully it's just one of those things that motivates you to want to think outside of the box and just be you.
Well, thank you, man. I really appreciate it, dude.
No problem.
Man.
Thanks for the interview.
So I rolled up back to Orange County after some great interviews and some great days in Los Angeles, and it felt good to be home. It felt good to be centered in my space, and I meditated that night and really felt at home. I felt at home in my soul, and I felt at home as being an astrologer. It makes me feel so wonderful in my heart to bring everybody just truth, just different perspectives, and most importantly, bring you what my heart's desire is, which is exposing as much truth as I can in different people's philosophies and views. That's what life's all about. December 21st, 2012, what a day it was. We all have our own view. We all have our own different perspective. My view of what December 21st, 2012 was profound. It's time for us, individually, collectively, to expand our knowledge, to search more for the truth. My view is that religions, different philosophies need to keep expanding. We will never know the truth unless we keep moving forward in our lives, as we keep progressing forward. And December 21st, 2012 is the progressing forward, not only of the sun as it relates to what's happening in our galaxy, but for humanity to progress forward. There are 7 billion people on this planet, and there's going to be a lot more. And we need to start making the infrastructure of humanity based on truth. We need to spread truth more than ever. We have the technology now. We have everything we need in our life to move forward with. It's time to question everything. It's time to go deep to the root, to the truth of our own self, to the truth of our own core. It's time to start reprogramming your mind, to start opening up to more truths. We're based off truths that are thousands of years old, that really most people don't even know the true understanding of the Bible, don't even know the true understanding of all these religions. And it's time to wake up. December 21st, 2012 is a wake-up call for yourself. It's a wake-up call to find out who you are on the inside. It's not crazy if you start having wild dreams about a past life. It's not crazy if you start talking to an astrologer and he starts unveiling your own truth in your own life. This is not crazy talk, this is truth. It's not crazy to look at the Last Supper painting that Leonardo da Vinci did and see that it's all 12 signs of the zodiac. It's not crazy to look at the Bible and realize that the whole thing was written by astrology. It's not crazy to see that every church that was built all the way up till those dark ages and even after have astrological and zodiac signs throughout all the churches. And as an astrologer, believe me, I get so many people that hit me up on my YouTube channel all about, well, hey, astrology's the devil. The truth is, why don't you look at the truth? This is December 21st, 2012. This is our future now. It is time to open up. You know, people used to think that the earth was flat, and people held on to that for hundreds and thousands of years. The truth is, when it came out that it wasn't, people had to deal with the cold, hard reality, which actually was a beautiful, warm reality. It made us really more understand our universe and see what's going on here. So to believe about beliefs that you don't even know the whole truth about, you're just told to believe, is going to hold not only our society back, but hold yourself back. And I'm coming here to tell you that all December 21st, 2012 is a wake-up call to your truth, to get deep to the core of your life, to get deep to the truth of this universe. Most people learned the planets when they were a kid in school, and they forgot them. It's amazing when I ask them to name the planets from Mercury to Pluto, and people don't even know the distance or how far, or which one's in front of the other, or how close they are related to the sun. A lot of people don't even realize that when you look up at the skies that sometimes planets go backward in view, and why is that? And how is that relating to things on Earth? The more you understand what's happening in our universe, you will understand your own life. The same goes for in our world. The more you understand how nature works and how the night and day works, makes you plan for things different, right? We tend to work in the day and we tend to sleep at night. These are all simple things. The same simple things that astrology, that the universe, that all the great philosophers, that all the great knowledge that our ancients had, were all about. But our society today has ditched all this, and you have been duped. You have been duped. I'm sorry to tell you, you have been duped. And I wanted to come with raw truth on this video, to give people's different views, and to give you my own view, which is that you have been duped. You've been living with a blindfold on and been told to keep it on. Imagine that, fear of astrology, especially through Christianity and religions, when all Christianity is based around astrology and our real true sun, our sun. Please do the research. You're not going to hell. You're not going to hell. God doesn't punish people. The universe doesn't punish people, doesn't punish things. We live in cycles of life. There's cycles in your own life, from the day you were born to the day you die. Same thing is happening in our universe. Same thing happens from spring to winter. And it's time for you to wake up. It's time for us as a collective to have an open mind, to have an open thought, to communicate more, to push out our views, to question things that have been in view and in place that are honestly running our world into the ground. If you understand what happened on December 21st, astrologically, astronomically as well, then you'll start to understand how life is going on. A lot of people don't even realize, yes, the sun sits still, of course, in our relation, but the sun is flying through the heavens and taking us on a journey. And the journey has now switched to a whole new page. And of course, right at this pivotal point, December 21st, 2012, you're on a cell phone, you're on a laptop, you're on a computer, you're doing all these crazy things. 12,000 years ago, that stuff was crazy. That wasn't even around, thought of anything. We're at a peak point, which leads us to our next point. Imagine where we're gonna be 24,000 years from now. It's just the same as the dawning of time of humans as we know it has now reached that same dawning of where humans go now. It's time to leave behind the old humanity. It's time to step into this new one. It's time to leave behind our caveman needs. It's time to leave behind our caveman thoughts, our caveman beliefs and really start to bring science and spirituality together. That's the holy science. Science and spirituality together. Our ancients sure knew what was going on. They built beautiful pyramids. How beautiful were our ancient people? They left art. They left something on the planet. We leave concrete now. We leave concrete and some landscaping and fake lakes, which this is a beautiful lake, but the truth is there is so much more we can be doing for this earth and so much more for humanity. All I ask you to do now that we are here in the new age is to open your soul to your own truth. And however crazy it may be, that's really what it is. Society needs to crack. Society can actually be your worst enemy. We're made to do certain things, be a certain way, work a certain way, all to mold us into this little machine that just lives and dies and does what society asks for. But as a human being, you're meant to do what you want to do. Just take a look at how nature works. There is no societies in nature. Nature runs around, the squirrel does what it wants to do, it climbs on its tree, it loves when it wants to love, it does what it wants to do. And humanity was meant to be that way as well. And it's no weird or crazy thought to think that humanity can be the same way, that we can really have heaven here on earth, that we could actually build this place where everybody gets to enjoy it and have the most amazing experience ever. And that only comes up to you as an individual and for us as a collective. But it takes you to know yourself. It takes you to know the truth. It takes for you to open up your eyes. And the more you tap into your truth, the more you tap into your soul, the more your life will change. That's what the secret is. The truth also is that fate is here in your life. It knocks on your door every day, and it knocks on your door in big moments of your life. But we have the choice to go along with fate or not. The universe vibrates at its own frequency. We have our own frequency. The truth is, when your frequency gets called, it's a lot like an orchestra. The universe playing this beautiful tune, but when they're asking for David Palmer to do things in its life and go along with fate, most people go, I have control of my life and I want to do what I want to do. I make my own choices. Yeah, you make your own choices to toot your horn, all messed up, that don't go along with the vibration of the universe. We are in the age of Aquarius now, where it's two squiggly lines. It's time for us to move together with both lines instead of against each other, but move in harmony together. It's time for that. It's time for us to baptize ourselves as humanity, baptize ourselves to a new humanity, one that's greater, one that can do amazing things for this earth. And that's the reason why I made this video. Everybody has their own perspective, of course, and this is my own perspective. But I think individually and as humanity, we need to come into a perspective of greatness, of love. Love is the eternal creator. Our prime creator that created this universe all it was love. This is just a spew out of love. And the more you understand our galaxy, the more you understand what's going on, about how the sun works, about just our seasons in life and why this all happens and how it correlates in your own soul, and to realize that you are a universe in yourself, and we must align all of our universes together to make the most amazing universe you've ever seen. Thank you for watching my documentary. And if you have any questions, you can always email me, david@david-palmer.com. Check out my website, david-palmer.com, or you can watch my daily YouTube videos here on my YouTube channel, David Palmer Astrology. Thank you so much for watching.
It is a vortex solar system. The 4th of January is very, very important because it is one of these special portals. We have about 6 great portals in the heavens as our sun travels ecliptic. But the 21st day of the moon cycle this year corresponds with the 6th of January. And in the liturgical year, this is none other than the Epiphany, the appearance of the Lord, you see. The Lord appears. And this is when, in fact, the 3 wise men see the Christ, you see, because they don't see the Christ in the manger. They see the Christ when he is, I think the Greek word is brephos, which means an infant now. What happens, you see, in Greek theology and also in Egyptian theology Egyptian theology, is that they would wait 12 days before they would announce that the sun is commencing to lengthen. And they call the celebration of this day, this holy day, the Epiphany. And this corresponds to the 21st day of the moon cycle, and this is in fact when the 3 days of spiritual darkness will be on the earth. And the Mayans are also the respecters of the lunar calendar. So really, the 21st of December 2012 is really going to happen on the 6th of January, between the 6th and the 9th of January. These are the true days of darkness, spiritual darkness, and then what will happen is the sun will then be declared the new sun, the new ethereal sun. Look out for that, because I'm sure you will also experience a great consciousness awakening on that day, as we are already.